On the 25th of January, a telephone call to Army Air Defense Command headquarters in Colorado Springs conveyed word that the 50,000th man had volunteered for duty with the Army Air Defense Team. His enlistment highlighted more than 8 years of significant achievement by the Army Recruiting Service in obtaining quality volunteers to man the Army's component of the nation's air defenses. Mr. 50,000, Private Robert Nuti, was born 22 years ago in Chicago, Illinois. He is a graduate of Tarkio College, Missouri, having earned a Bachelor of Arts degree with a major in mathematics, which will serve him well in the complicated art of electronics, computers, and missiles in the ARADCOM arsenal of weapons. Nuti is the son of Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Nuti of Lombard, Illinois, and was recruited for duty with ARADCOM by Staff Sergeant Ronald C. Rexroth of the Elgin, Illinois recruiting station. Private Nuti, by enlisting under the ARADCOM enlistment option, selected ARADCOM after receiving a written guarantee that upon completion of 8 weeks of basic training at Fort Knox, Kentucky, he would receive an assignment to a Nike Hercules site in the Chicago area. Upon receiving the okay from ARADCOM, Private Nuti was sworn into the Army by Major General R.A. Hewitt, Commanding General of the 5th ARADCOM region. Just as the 49,999 ARADCOM volunteers before him, Private Nuti was carefully screened before being accepted for a guided missile and electronics training program that will find him assigned to a missile-defended area of his choosing. Following this ceremony in Chicago, Nuti and his fiancée, Miss Diane Van Cleef, had lunch at Nike Site C03 in the Montrose Park region of Chicago. There they were shown the various radars that are used to detect and track enemy aircraft. After looking at the radar, the group then toured the Operations Center, where the complicated radar display boards, computers, and other equipment are used, and were shown how the center fits into the missile defenses of Chicago and Milwaukee. But there was more to come for this honored enlistee. On Wednesday, Private Nuti and Sergeant Rexroth left by plane for Colorado Springs, where he was met by Miss Teenage America of 1962, Diane Lynn Cox, who was attending Colorado College. Later, he and Sergeant Rexroth met with Lieutenant General Charles B. Duff, Commanding General of the Army Air Defense Command. Each was presented with a plaque commemorating the occasion, and Private Nuti was presented with a set of shoulder patches, formally admitting him to the ARADCOM family. From ARADCOM headquarters, Nuti and Rexroth, sponsored by Master Sergeant Mike Thompson of the ARADCOM staff, visited the Air Force Academy and were given a tour of the grounds, including the Academy Chapel. On Friday, Nuti and Rexroth formally became Colorado property owners. Of course, they can't build a house on their newly acquired property, since it is only 1 square foot of land located on Pikes Peak, which is over 14,000 feet above sea level. Presenting them with their deeds to the land were Mr. John Sawyer, president of the Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce, and Mr. Norm Coleman, chairman of the Chamber's Military Affairs Committee. Later that same day, they met with Major General Autry Maroon, Commanding General Fort Carson and the 5th Infantry Division, and were given a tour of Fort Carson. A tour of the well-known Will Rogers Shrine on Cheyenne Mountain was next in store for Mr. 50,000. He and Sergeant Rexroth, accompanied by Sergeant Thompson, visited this shrine dedicated to the man who said, "I never met a man I didn't like." From this vantage point, Nuti looked out over the thousands of square miles of eastern Colorado, stretching out from Colorado Springs below. But, as all things have to end sometime, Private Nuti's Colorado tour drew to a close Saturday morning, when he and Sergeant Rexroth left for Fort Knox. Sergeant Rexroth left Nuti there for 8 weeks of basic training. From Fort Knox, Nuti will return to the Chicago area to serve with the Army Air Defense Command.